It's a theory that goes as far back as the 16th century, put forth by the likes of philosopher Thomas More, civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr., and more recently, Democratic candidate for president Andrew Yang. Universal basic income. In plain English, that means regularly giving everyone a set amount of money with the goal of alleviating poverty and expanding the middle class. And these days, at least some seem to be taking the idea a lot more seriously. Finland conducted a trial with 2,000 people a few years back, although the verdict was mixed. Germany started a 3-year trial in August, giving 120 people around $1,400 a month. And the idea is gaining steam in South Korea and Canada as well. Smaller groups have also been testing out the idea in cities and villages around the world. But now the biggest universal basic income experiment of its kind in the U.S. is about to launch right here in Massachusetts. As the Boston Globe reported, the city of Chelsea will be giving 2,000 low-income families between $200 and $400 a month starting in November. It's an initiative funded by the city itself, the local United Way, Mass General Hospital, and the Shaw Family Foundation, which donated $1 million and is working to raise more to extend the pilot program. I'm joined now by the president of the Shaw Family Foundation, Jill Shaw, along with Boston Globe columnist and associate editor Shirley Leung, who wrote the piece about this effort. Shirley and Jill, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
You know, Shirley, I know you spoke to the city manager who said the idea was born of necessity. What was the necessity?
So city manager Tom Ambrosino, the city has been operating a food pantry, and he saw winter coming. Since the spring, they started a food pantry, and winter is coming. And for him, he just didn't want to see all these people standing outside waiting for food in the middle of a contagious pandemic in winter. And so he said, we need another way. We need another way for people to get their own food. So why don't we give them debit cards instead?
Yeah, but let me be clear. These debit cards are not limited to just food. The recipient can do whatever he or she chooses. Correct, Shirley?
Correct. And, the city manager, and Jill will probably talk a little bit more about this. He was funny. I was like, isn't this really exciting? You are, the Chelsea is going to be the biggest pilot of this version of a universal basic income, or what is also known as guaranteed income, when you target it to certain populations. And he's like, I don't want to call it that. I don't want to get into the politics. I had a problem to solve, which is I need to get people food.
Right.
I need to get people food. And so I'm going to give them these cards. And they can spend it on food, but they can spend it on anything else they want as well.
Right. Jill, your family foundation put up a ton of money, $1 million. Why?
Well, I think it's super important. This is an initiative that is, as you said, the largest initiative in guaranteed income in the country. But I think very importantly to the residents of Chelsea, it's putting money directly in the hands of people who need cash. That cash will go directly into the local economy. And at the same time, we'll be studying it, which we think will, inform policy. And we're going to have new policy to get us out of this crisis, Jim.
Well, I want to stay on what that policy is. And I was reading in Shirley's article, it's painful. 38% of the people enrolled in this program in Chelsea have experienced hunger, not had enough food. Even worse than experiencing hunger in recent times. That's 5 times the national average. So while the city manager wants to stay away from the political issue, this isn't just about helping people who are poor. It's also a social experiment, is it not, to see if providing a guaranteed income for a certain set of people may in fact help lift them out of poverty, not just get them through the pandemic. Is that not what the core concept is?
Yes, you're exactly right. And there are many, we are included in that feel like if you give someone something that is predictable and reliable that they can depend on as a part of the way that they get food every month and pay their rent every month and take care of bills that may pop up unexpectedly every month, that buffer is critically important, not only to ensuring that you can meet your most basic incomes, but also, just for supporting good mental health. I mean, one of the other things that we found in Chelsea is that the folks suffering from mental health there are way beyond the national average. And it's extraordinary. We can't even imagine, Jim, the way that some of us live day to day the suffering that's happening right now across the country. And really, this is to inform how we tackle that as quickly as we possibly can.
Shirley, what you interviewed some of the enrollees. What's the expectation? I know you can't speak for all 2,000, but what's the common thread among the families with whom you spoke?
Well, I spoke with two residents, and both of them, they're women in their 30s, early 30s. They were out of work, each of them, for 4 to 5 months. One worked at a seafood factory in Gloucester, and there was, because of the COVID shut down the economy, she wasn't working. The other one lost her job completely and only recently started a new job at a daycare. In both cases, women were ecstatic that they're back at work again, but they were unable to collect unemployment benefits. Their biggest bill right now is back rent, thousands of dollars in back rent. Another one had a $1,000 utility bill. They are hoping that this money will help them dig out of this financial hole. Keep in mind, a lot of people, not just in Chelsea, but a lot of people are already living on the financial edge before COVID. And so this will send a lot of people into poverty. And so that's why this experiment that Jill's foundation is funding is going to be fantastic for letting these families dig out a shot at digging out of the hole.
Jill, I know the city manager wants to stay away from the politics, but it's almost impossible. We live in a society where essentially decision makers, including our own government in Massachusetts, don't trust poor people to spend money responsibly. Cash benefits in this state, you can't spend it on a lottery ticket, or if you want to drink, or if you have a court fee. The notion being we have to tell you how to spend money. So the potential out of looking at these 2,000, and I know you're going to assess the results along with some people at Harvard, the hope is that it doesn't just help the people there, but if successful, this can be replicated in lots of places. Is that a fair statement?
That's a very fair statement. I think you're exactly right. We believe that giving individuals cash is the most dignified way to support them as they work hard, which we all do, right? It's the very rare case as you look at the research on, and there's been research on guaranteed income happening for, you said it at the opening, for decades and decades. And so we know that people all act the same way. We all want to take care of our families, we want to take care of ourselves. Basic needs are the first thing that we need to take care of. And so this will help with that. But also, I think the more that we can build momentum around supporting our most vulnerable neighbors, the more it's going to benefit all of us. Right now, we're so torn apart.
Sheila, I want to understand one mechanical problem. Shirley wrote that there's enough money for 4 months of this. Did I get that right? Is that true?
Currently, yes.
Okay, so is the assessment going to happen during the 4 months so that if it's successful, you're able to raise more money? Or is it after the 4 months, which means there'd be a hiatus during which time these families would not be getting a benefit?
We're raising money right now. And the easiest way to find how to donate is just go to the Shaw Foundation website, which is shawfoundation.org, and there's a big donate button on the front page, and that'll take you to the United Way, who is managing all of the funding for this. They've been an incredible partner, and we're perpetually raising money for this. We think it's really important. We'll be assessing. We already are doing assessments, even pre the pilot, but we hope that this can go on for a long time.
I only have 30 seconds left, Shirley, but it seems to me, I don't want to be overly excited about this, state lawmakers also can be taking a look at this, not just foundations and hospitals, because, as I said, they may choose to distribute benefits in different ways if this model is a success. And I only have a few seconds, as I said. Yes?
Absolutely, and I'm hoping that everybody will jump on this bandwagon, even if it's not a forever guaranteed income. We know that the most vulnerable populations need money now to get through the pandemic. So even if this is for 6 months or a year, it's a great experiment to get behind. I hope individuals donate. I hope the state kicks in some money. I give a lot of credit to Jill, United Way, and the city of Chelsea for really looking ahead and to look at, not accept the status quo of trying to solve this intractable problem. Let's try to think outside the box. Let's try to think of a plan, not just for Chelsea, but for the rest of the country, on how to help our most vulnerable populations right now.
I'm with you. Shirley Young, thanks. Jill Shaw, congratulations, and thanks so much for your time. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.